All right, guys, welcome. We're going to just kind of go through the overview of World War I, specifically in relation to the causes. Again, I mentioned this in the first lecture. Main is a good thing to remember. It's militarism, alliance system, imperialism, and nationalism. Together, those are the four main causes of World War I, and you just need to be able to talk a little bit about the each one of those and what they mean. Remember, it all gets down to Germany's place inside Europe here, right in the middle of Europe. Bismarck understood this, and he set up these alliances to protect Germany initially. Second essential fact is, again, that Germany and France hated each other, and the Germans, really the Prussians, later became the Germans, took over. Well, they didn't take it over, but they conquered France in 1870, marched through Paris, and then exacted reparations from French and took Alsace-Lorraine, which is this little area here in orange. And the French wanted their revenge. They were not happy with the Germans, and they remembered. So again, they're very vulnerable. They did not want to fight a two-front war, which is where they would be. So what Bismarck did is he set up the Three Emperors League in 1881 between Russia, Austria-Hungary, and Germany. That was the first alliance he had. The second alliance he set up was something called the Triple Alliance between Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Italy. So Germany is actually sitting pretty here in 1882. However, Bismarck gets fired, and by the new Kaiser Wilhelm II, who lets the Three Emperors League lapse, and the French immediately jump in and sign a treaty with Russia, and now Germany is surrounded. They go from sitting pretty well to being surrounded very quickly. So moving right back to, so then the French, sorry here, I just had to jump to the next presentation. The French set up this first alliance between themselves and Russia in 1892, and this later becomes a Triple Entente. And this whole alliance system with everybody allied to everybody else, and it's very confusing. This is a political cartoon. It says the French are left out. They were not left out. So the Entente got set up officially in 1904 between the British and the French, which was a big deal because traditionally they were enemies. And finally, you had something called the Triple Entente formed by 1907 between England, France, and Russia. And these are really the two sides in World War I. And from this point on, they just started arming themselves to the teeth. The whole crisis begins down here in the Balkans. It gets down to this little territory here, which is Bosnia in 1908, becomes up for grabs. Austria-Hungary annexes it. So, oh my God. So, so what happens here is the Bosnian crisis in 1908. The Austro-Hungarians annexed Bosnia. The Serbs wanted Bosnia for themselves. They wanted a Slavic empire to rival Austria-Hungary, of course dominated by themselves. When the Austrians took Bosnia, that interfered with their plans, and it angered them. They almost went to war once. Russia backed down in 1908 after Germany threatened them. So Russia didn't want to back down again. Fast forward really to 1914. Franz Ferdinand goes down to review the troops and gets assassinated by Serbian nationalists from an organization called the Black Hand with ties to Serbia. The Austrian-Hungarian emperor named Franz Joseph issues an ultimatum to punish Serbia. Serbia agrees, but Austria-Hungary attacks them anyway. As soon as that happens, in July 1914, the dominoes fall. Austria-Hungary goes to war with Serbia. Germany stands by the Austro-Hungarians as their staunch ally. The Russians are protecting the Slavic people. They start mobilizing for war. In response, the Germans mobilize for war. The Germans declare war on Russia. The Germans have a plan to fight a two-front war called the Schlieffen Plan. So the Germans attack France first to try to knock France out of the war quickly. They go through Belgium, which was neutral. Belgium had a separate treaty with Great Britain, and that draws the British in. And literally within about a week to 8 days, everybody's fighting everybody else in World War I. So that's a little again, a brief overview of a complicated issue, but I hope that helps.